How you doing? Good, good. How are you? Good. Morning. What was that trip?
That was pretty good.
Welcome back.
I'd like to give you an update later. I've got a few observations from our competitors.
Oh, cool. Why don't you start first?
Sure.
Oh, the screen arcade.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't see you.
How are you?
Did you just get here, literally?
Yeah. Did you just go for a run or something?
I went to the restroom.
Oh, just like water on your chest.
Oh yeah, I tried to fix my hair. I couldn't.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I wasn't sure what was. I thought maybe you ran to the office.
Yeah. I did yesterday actually.
Oh, you did?
I walked all the way from home to here,
Nice.
and then on the way back, I couldn't finish it. But yeah. Thank you.
So I think I left the power supply at home. I'll bring it back.
That's all right.
So all in all, it was great, right? Like those guys love it. But that one customer is really concerned about latency.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest issue. Which I think if we can get to 5 seconds, we're in the window, right?
The lowest we can get is 5.5 at an instant,
Uh-huh.
but then it slowly drifts into around 8. That seems to be. I'm doing more tests.
If we can figure that out, that makes it. The problem with them is it's they have waging
Yeah.
to worry about.
And
So everything has to be decided almost immediately. Otherwise, they can't use it. And at the moment, they're doing that at great expense, right? So,
yeah.
and then there was a bunch of other customers just in production that saw it too, who really liked it. One was asking, can we run that on a transceiver? So, and the reason they want to do that is that
That's a pack, right?
they want to be able to bring RPS to a receiver, right, or RPS decoder or anything, and be able to quickly make it available on-prem, because they love the interface. They don't. It's not so much that they want to be in the cloud, but they love the interface.
Interesting. Well,
Anyway, we can talk more about it.
we can talk more.
But it was.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. How's it been here?
Pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Things have been quiet in the office. Yeah.
Oh, so do you remember the original guy we talked to about replay? The guy you were on the first call.
For horse racing?
Yeah, horse racing.
Yeah.
The first one, not the second one. So they want to maybe do another demo this week if they can.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So it seems to be moving along really great. So,
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Really good. Appreciate all the support on that.
No problem. Oh shit. Hey, Fernando. Good. How are you? Hey, hey, Jan. Do I call you Jan or Yan? Yan. Okay, got it. So, n- yeah. Could you say that again real quick? I just turned up the volume. I think something was wrong with my headset. Oh yeah, definitely. So the the way I have it set up is I have a camera over here. This camera is going to be filming my producer that I'll have running on my computer and the two external controller apps on my tablet. So let me screen share my producer interface. Nice. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with Party Line, but over here, I can send, the webcam feed into any of the producer slots, which is what I have done, for a typical talk show. This is me. This is another tablet that I have over here, just filming like this. And then I have you, and then I have Fernando here, just for sample sources. And then from there, you can generate two links. that you can send out to additional crew of the production. One of them is called TVU Replay, which is an instant replay or synchronized replay focused application. Another one is called the Sidecar app, which is a macro-based, simple producer usage sort of app. So let me go through TVU Replay first, right? What I have here is TVU Replay. I usually, I would just point it a lot closer like this. Yeah, so because when I try to do screen share with this device, the frame rate's usually pretty terrible. So I'm just pointing it with another camera. So you can see the 4 sources here. I'll load them up. And then on the left side, you can see they're being played synchronously, right? And then there's multiple different use cases for it. One is for sports officials to look at replays and see, look at them in full screen, look at the details of a goal, see if there's any foul, any penalties. And then, so that would be in another mode called the sports mode, right? In the review mode, you can look at the different sources synchronously and then zoom into each of the spots, have a multi-view going. And then what we have, one of our customers is actually a sports team in the United States doing fan engagement with this. They would have a QR code on a giant billboard. Everyone in the stadium will scan the QR code, and then they can watch the game within the stadium from the different angles. So that's one of the use case. And then, of course, for officials to look at plays. Another use case will be here, which is an instant replay solution. So I must admit that both this app and the next app that I'm about to show you, we're currently undergoing some UI redesign before we release it to the App Store. But the idea is all there, right? Essentially, this is going to be a live feed. And then, oh, a play just happened. I press mark in. The mark in will keep going. You say, okay, the play ends there, mark out, and then you press save. Now, if you look at the producer screen share, there is the clip that I just created, right? So you can basically delegate this section of the production to another person and then create an instant replay clip with a tablet over there. Yeah. So this is the replay portion of this of the demonstration today, and also something cool about this is that it is not exclusive to one device. You can have multiple people. Based on technical limitations, speculation, it's like 10,000+ people creating clips at the same time. So you can have fans come into the production for you, and say, oh, I like this. You should output that to the program. So that's just one of the possibilities for the replay app. Any questions before I move on? I can definitely jump back later to cover more details. Okay. And then let me move on to the next solution, which is called the Sidecar solution. This is a more generic application. Replay is pretty centered on replay, but the Sidecar application basically builds macros for every single feature that is available in Producer. For example, I'm going to make a macro. So this macro 1237, I'm going to let me just set it up real quick. Duration 7 seconds. So as you can see here, this is the macro editor interface. Over here, let me just switch over real quick so I can be sure. Oh, it's kind of crooked. Whoops. So each of the steps is one of the actions that we will take in the in this macro. You can edit it, target source, transition effect, transition duration, and duration until next action. You press save. And now when I click this macro, on producer itself, it should be playing source 1 for 7 seconds and then cut to source 2 and cut to source 3 automatically. So there's source 2, and then in about 7 seconds it'll be on your source. Not currently. Currently, the web interface trigger is just limited to cuts, right? It's just limited to the source switches on the tablet, and then maybe in the web interface in the future, we'll have more features. So, for example, right, as I said earlier, we're going through a UI redesign for this as well. So it's like half completed between stages. But anyways, you can pick 3 different features at the moment. It's source cuts, audio on and off, and instant replay. So for instant replay, what you would do is, for example, that camera 1 is always pointed at the home team's goal, and then the home team scores. So you would set the replay macro. Okay, I'll take source 1, and then I'll take a little bit before the action, and then a little bit after the action, and then I save. And then every time a play happens, you just press that macro, and then a replay playlist will come out here. That's one. And then another one is the audio mixers. We have this macroable in the app. Something that one of our customer is a news agency in the United States. They're trying to do is they'll have someone do all the homework of the show before the show. So they will have a guy set up all the different macros for different sections of the show. And then the presenter of the show, all they have to do is press a button called Take Next. So I'm not sure if you see bottom right-hand corner, there's a button here that's the Take Next button. Let me just make sure this is okay. So I've executed the macro. Now I press Take Next. It will force take the next action in the macro. So what the news agency are doing is training their producer to their show presenters to understand that all you have to do is press this one button, because everyone else has something already set up for you before the show has begun. So it's basically making this entire interface on the web accessible through a single button on the tablet. So that is a general, very rough overview of the both of these applications, and they're not available on the App Store right now, but one of them will be very shortly, and the other is not too far away either. I can give you some test flight links for you to download and test as well. Are there any further questions or something that you're interested in that I can go further in detail?
Well, it looks good. It's a nice application. I think for our use case, it's not immediately applicable. I mean, we're looking sort of to integrate automation, sort of macro type of functionalities, but in our web interface. So we have let's say an interface to control some of our asset management system, right? And for doing recording of feeds and things like this. And so we want to build in some macros to interface with the producer, so we've got the API documentation, which is quite interesting. And so the idea was maybe the macros could be an alternative. And then I can see that if you are a producer sitting, or if you are what you call editor, sitting in front of the mixing console and you want to change things, then it's a nice way to do it. But I think for our use case, it's not immediately applicable.
Okay, that's no worries. Something to mention is that the application itself is calling an API. They're not doing anything new. They're just calling the API that you have access to at the moment, which means, theoretically, you could already make this with what you have on Rapid API. If you guys want to explore more into the macro world, and then want to see what we have already written, we can probably set up like a SDK exchange or something like that, just to help you understand what we've done with the API.
Yes, I'm still getting used to the working it manually. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And once I'm sort of, I will switch to looking more detail into the API.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, good. Thanks for the demo.
And no problem. Thank you for your interest. And Fernando, thank you for setting this up.
I think if I go somewhere, it's going to be great for you.
Thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow. You're in around 8:30 tonight?
Sure. So we're looking at around 450 matches per year that we want to do. So that is the size. Yes. I mean, it'll be relatively between 400 and 450 likely. That's sort of the size. And I mean, the technical requirements will be, or the production requirements are slightly different for different matches. So sometimes we will need graphics, sometimes we won't need graphics, sometimes it will be a remote commentator, sometimes there won't be, things like this. But generally speaking, it's 400 to 450 matches. Exactly. So we have a system for automating the distribution flow and the archiving flow, and we just wanna have some of the functionality automated through the APIs. For example, the provisioning of the producer, things like this. Also, often the time that the feed becomes available. So the feed will become available first with a slate, and then after that it will go to the live. And often this is at a fixed time, so we want to pre-program this so that it is automatically switched at the right time. Things like this.
So, sorry for not finding this out, but are you guys a partner of ours, or are you guys a sports production company? Well, I guess you could call us a sports production company. Okay.
So we do indeed sports productions, and we have we develop our own asset management system at this stage, and so we're adding some functionality, and we're looking at integrating with a remote production system.
Go ahead. Right. Something we had envisioned in the past with the replay system that I was and the sidecar system, is that the remote commentators will be able to look at the feeds, create their own clips, and then talk over their own clips. That is something we envisioned in the past, right? And I think that if you guys are interested in that, we can definitely think of something that fits into your workflow. Similar with the macroable replay, our thought process was it's just one commentator sitting there, and then he will be the one dictating which previously determined template of the replay goes onto the program. So you don't need, basically the whole production. You are the commentator. You are also the producer. That's what we were thinking with the two. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, interesting. Well, certainly could be a future extension, but certainly the idea is let's walk before we run. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do the first. But certainly it makes sense to think about a little bit more, because indeed, so the use case we have in mind, it's really different tiers of competitions, and so some competitions you have the manpower to have multiple people involved, but it's true for some of the simpler competitions that we want to keep it as lean as possible. So there it makes sense to have these type of functions.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Got it. Yep.
All right, very good.
Cool. Thank you
I
very
think
much.
that's it for today.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for the demo. All right. Okay, good. No worries.
No problem.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening or day.
Yep. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.